Today, I simulated the entire 2024 Formula 1 season with equal cars, with Max Verstappen DNFing from every single race and not scoring any points. Can Sergio Perez carry Red Bull to the championship, or will another team prevail? Stay tuned to find out. My name is Chris, welcome back to CFRacing, and enjoy the video. Hey everybody, what's going on? Chris here, otherwise known as CFRacing, and today everybody, I got 10 Formula 1 reskin mods to add to the 10 teams that are in the game, and created an entire 2024 Formula 1 season using the Grand Prix mode and using the official 2024 calendar to create a 2024 season. First of all, go check out all the mod creators. All the links are going to be in the description, and this video will not be possible without them. And secondly, like I said in the intro, I had Max Verstappen DNF from every single race just to see how Red Bull will do in 2024 with equal cars without Max Verstappen, because if it was equal cars and Max Verstappen, he'd win every single race because his AI is super overpowered. But with that being said, guys, enjoy the video, hit that like button, subscribe, share with your friends. I'm doing a giveaway in my Discord, join that, links in the description. And with that being said, enjoy.
Brothers, my guys, know that they fly, know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side, CJ Ike, now I gotta roll with ice. Cody's brothers, my guys, know that they fly, know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side, CJ Ike, now I gotta roll with ice. Ride or die, 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 ride or die. Cody's brothers, my guys, know that they fly, know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side, CJ Ike, now I gotta ride or die. Now I gotta ride or die.
Race 1 in Bahrain was won by Fernando Alonso, followed by Alexander Albon and George Russell. From 4 to 10, we have Lando Norris, Carlos Sainz, Yuki Tsunoda, Esteban Ocon, Valtteri Bottas, Oscar Piastri 9th, Daniel Ricciardo scores points in the AlphaTauri 10th, Norris had fastest lap, and George Russell started from pole. Race 2 in Saudi Arabia was a back-to-back victory from Fernando Alonso, with Lando Norris P2 and Pierre Gasly getting up there on the podium in P3. Sainz finished 4th, followed by Lewis Hamilton, Oscar Piastri, Valtteri Bottas, Charles Leclerc, Sergio Perez, Yuki Tsunoda finished his 10th. Nobody had fastest lap because they finished outside the top 10, and Alonso started from pole. Race 3 in Australia was won by Pierre Gasly. You absolutely love to see it, with Alonso P2 and Valtteri Bottas P3. What a podium that would be. Sainz finished 4th, followed by Charles Leclerc, Yuki Tsunoda, Sergio Perez, Alexander Albon, George Russell, Lando Norris. Bottas had fastest lap, and Lewis Hamilton had pole position. Race 4 in Baku was Lando Norris's first ever Formula 1 win, followed by Lewis Hamilton P2 and Fernando Alonso P3. Tsunoda, having a great start to the season, finishes 4th, followed by Valtteri Bottas, Alexander Albon, George Russell, Pierre Gasly, Piastri 9th, Charles Leclerc 10th. Norris had fastest lap in pole and got the Grand Slam this weekend. Race 5 in China was won by Fernando Alonso, followed by Lewis Hamilton P2 and Alexander Albon P3. He's on the podium again. Tsunoda finishes 4th, followed by Charles Leclerc, George Russell, Valtteri Bottas, Pierre Gasly, Oscar Piastri, Lando Norris. Albon had fastest lap, and Fernando Alonso started from pole. At the end of the first 5 races, this is what the driver's standings look like. Fernando Alonso was on top by actually 49 points, as he's had a crazy start to the season, followed by Lando Norris in P2 and Pierre Gasly actually in P3. Hamilton's in 4th, followed by Alexander Albon 5th, Bottas 6th, Yuki Tsunoda 7th, Carlos Sainz 8th, George Russell 9th, Charles Leclerc 10th, and Oscar Piastri is in 11th. The constructor standings after the first 10 races look like this, with Aston Martin in P1 with 108 points, and 31 points behind them is Mercedes. McLaren are P2, Mercedes are P2, followed by McLaren P3, Ferrari P4, Alpine P5, Williams P6, Alfa Romeo P7, AlphaTauri P8, Red Bull P9. Wow, Sergio Perez is shitting the bed, and Haas are in dead last. Race 6 in Miami was won by Fernando Alonso, followed by Lewis Hamilton P2 and Norris P3. Sainz finishes P4, followed by Charles Leclerc P5, Yuki Tsunoda, Alexander Albon, George Russell, Valtteri Bottas, Sergio Perez P10. Fernando Alonso had fastest lap and pole position and got the Grand Slam. Race 7 in Imola was won by Lando Norris, followed by Fernando Alonso P2 and Alexander Albon keeping this up to finish P3. Hamilton finishes P4, followed by Daniel Ricciardo, Carlos Sainz, Charles Leclerc, George Russell, Valtteri Bottas, Oscar Piastri 10th. Norris had fastest lap, and Fernando Alonso had pole position. Race 8 in Monaco. Yes, you heard that right. Monaco had Charles Leclerc winning for some reason. That's kind of crazy, with Hamilton P2 and George Russell P3. Fernando Alonso finished P4, followed by Lando Norris, Daniel Ricciardo, Yuki Tsunoda, Oscar Piastri, Perez P9, Bottas P10. Alonso had fastest lap, and Daniel Ricciardo actually started from pole position. You love to see it. He is the king of the streets. Race 9 in Canada was won by Oscar Piastri, and he just won the Qatar sprint race today. Congratulations, Oscar. Albon finished P2, followed by Charles Leclerc P3, Yuki Tsunoda P4, Daniel Ricciardo P5, George Russell P6, followed by Lando Norris, Carlos Sainz, Hamilton. Kevin Magnussen scores his first points of the year. Tsunoda had fastest lap, and Sergio Perez started from pole. Race 10 in Spain was a home win from Fernando Alonso, followed by Charles Leclerc P2 and Lando Norris P3. I have Fernando Alonso on there twice for some reason, followed by Bottas 5th, Hamilton 6th, George Russell 7th, Gasly 8th, Sainz 9th, Piastri 10th. Charles Leclerc had fastest lap, and Bottas had pole position. I believe that's supposed to, I don't even know who that's supposed to be. I don't know why I have Alonso on there twice. I am sorry about that. The driver standings after round 10 look like this. Fernando Alonso extends his lead to 63 points, with Lando Norris in P2 and Lewis Hamilton P3. Albon is in P4 as Charles Leclerc has moved up to P5. Yuki Tsunoda's P6, Carlos Sainz is P7, George Russell's P8, Pierre Gasly's P9, and Bottas rounds out the top 10. The constructor standings have Aston Martin still on top, but only 17 points ahead of Mercedes, who have 174 points, and McLaren in P3 with 172. Ferrari's P4, followed by AlphaTauri P5, Williams P6, Alpine P7, Alfa Romeo P8, Red Bull, aka Sergio Perez, only P9, and Haas in dead last. Alexander Albon has won his first ever Formula 1 race in Austria. Look at that, with Charles Leclerc P2 and Lando Norris P3. Fernando Alonso finishes P4, followed by Bottas, Lewis Hamilton, George Russell, Pierre Gasly, Carlos Sainz, Oscar Piastri at 10th, Charles Leclerc at fastest lap, and Bottas started from pole position. Race 12 in Silverstone was a home win from Fernando Alonso. We're getting all the home wins this year. You love to see it. Followed by Lewis Hamilton P2 and George Russell P3. Pierre Gasly finished P4, followed by Yuki Tsunoda, Daniel Ricciardo, Fernando Alonso, Oscar Piastri, Ocon. Sainz finished 10th, Norris had fastest lap, and Pierre Gasly had pole position. Race 13 in Hungary was won by Fernando Alonso, followed by Sainz and Yuki Tsunoda. I believe this is his first ever podium. Good, you love to see it. Daniel Ricciardo finished 4th. What a race for AlphaTauri there. Followed by Charles Leclerc 5th, Hamilton 6th, Perez 7th, Russell 8th, Magnussen 9th, Bottas P10. Tsunoda had fastest lap, and Pierre Gasly started from pole again. He's crazy in qualifying right now. Race 14 in Spa was another win by Lando Norris, followed by Fernando Alonso P2 and Lewis Hamilton P3. Alexander Albon finished 4th, followed by Charles Leclerc, Esteban Ocon, Daniel Ricciardo, Oscar Piastri, George Russell. Tsunoda finished 10th, Albon had fastest lap, and Oscar Piastri started from pole. Race 15 in the Netherlands was Lewis Hamilton's first win of the season, followed by Fernando Alonso P2 and Lando Norris P3. Tsunoda finished 4th, followed by Charles Leclerc, Alexander Albon, George Russell, Carlos Sainz, Valtteri Bottas. Perez finished P10, Hamilton had fastest lap, and Lando Norris won from pole. After round 15, Fernando Alonso is still on top, but he's only 61 points ahead of Lando Norris in P2, and Lewis Hamilton is in P3. Albon still in P4, good for him, followed by Charles Leclerc P5, Yuki Tsunoda P6, George Russell P7, Carlos Sainz letting Ferrari down in P8, Pierre Gasly's in P9, and Valtteri Bottas rounds out the top 10. The Constructors' Championship has changed as Mercedes are now on top with 282 points, followed by Aston Martin with 270, McLaren is at 262, and Ferrari's in 4th with 229, a 53-point difference between the top 4 teams. That's crazy. AlphaTauri is in 5th, followed by Williams, Alpine in P7, Alfa Romeo P8, Red Bull P9, and Haas are still in dead last. Race 16 in Monza was a back-to-back win for Lewis Hamilton. Look at that, with Lando Norris P2 and Charles Leclerc P3. George Russell finished 4th, followed by Alexander Albon, Pierre Gasly, Esteban Ocon, Oscar Piastri. Bottas finished 9th, Tsunoda finished 10th, Norris had fastest lap, I spelled his name wrong, and Zhou started from pole. That's right, Zhou Guanyu started from pole. Race 17 in Baku. All you guys are going to love this one because Yuki Tsunoda actually won in Baku. And I can't believe Baku's going to be the 17th race next year. That's kind of crazy. Followed by Lando Norris in P2 and Hamilton P3. Charles Leclerc finished P4, followed by Alexander Albon, Valtteri Bottas, Oscar Piastri, Carlos Sainz, George Russell. Perez finished 10th. Norris had fastest lap. And Tsunoda started from pole. He won from pole. Good job, Yuki. You'll love to see it. Race 18 in Singapore was won by Fernando Alonso with Lando Norris P2 and Charles Leclerc P3. Valtteri Bottas finished P4, followed by Alexander Albon, George Russell, Pierre Gasly, Yuki Tsunoda. Carlos Sainz finished 9th, Daniel Ricciardo finished 10th, Alonso had fastest lap, but Lewis Hamilton started from pole. He had a DNF, by the way. Alonso wins race 19 in Circuit of the Americas, followed by Charles Leclerc P2 and Lewis Hamilton P3. Lando Norris finished P4, and you can see the Alonso, Leclerc, Hamilton, Norris top 4s coming quite often right now. Daniel Ricciardo finishes P5, followed by Gasly 6th, Bottas 7th, Perez 8th, Sainz 9th, Esteban Ocon P10, Bottas had fastest lap, and Alexander Albon won from pole. Race 20 in Mexico was Charles Leclerc's second win of the season, followed by Sainz P2 and Hamilton P3. Look at that, Ferrari 1-2, you love to see it. Bottas finished P4, good for him, followed by Perez 5th, I think that's his best race of the season. Albon 6th, Norris 7th, Russell P8, Gasly P9, Piastri P10, Charles Leclerc had fastest lap and pole, and got the Grand Slam in Mexico. There's literally nothing better than that. And for the final time this season before the end of the year, we're taking a look at the driver standings, and it has come down a little bit. Fernando Alonso is at 321 points in P1. 38 points behind him is Lando Norris with 4 rounds to go, with Lewis Hamilton 65 points behind, and Charles Leclerc has passed Albon for P4. Albon is in P5, followed by Yuki Tsunoda P6, George Russell P7, Carlos Sainz P8, Valtteri Bottas P9, and Pierre Gasly rounds out the top 10. The constructor standings look like this. Mercedes is in P1, 31 points clear of McLaren with 4 rounds to go, and 37 points clear of Ferrari with 4 rounds to go. Aston Martin has dropped down to P4, AlphaTauri P5, Williams P6, Alpine P7, Alfa Romeo P8, Red Bull P9, Sergio Perez only has 35 points this year, and Haas are still in dead last. Race 21 in Brazil was won by Fernando Alonso with Lando Norris P2 and Lewis Hamilton P3. Charles Leclerc finished P4, followed by Carlos Sainz, Alexander Albon, George Russell, Valtteri Bottas, Oscar Piastri in 9th, Sergio Perez in 10th. Fastest lap goes to George Russell, and Carlos Sainz started from pole. Race 22 in Las Vegas was won by Oscar Piastri, making him a 2-time race winner this season with Lando Norris P2 and Alexander Albon P3. That's a McLaren 1-2, by the way. Alonso finished P4, followed by Nico Hülkenberg in P5, good for him, Yuki Tsunoda P6, Esteban Ocon P7, Charles Leclerc P8, George Russell P9, Valtteri Bottas P10, Tsunoda had fastest lap, and Oscar Piastri started from pole. Race 23 in Qatar was won by Fernando Alonso, and Qatar is actually the 23rd and second last race of the season next year. That's kind of odd. Hamilton finished P2, followed by George Russell P3. Norris finished 4th, followed by Alexander Albon, Yuki Tsunoda, Oscar Piastri, Pierre Gasly, Carlos Sainz, Daniel Ricciardo finished 10th, and nobody had the point for the fastest lap, and Lando Norris started from pole. And in the final race of the season in Abu Dhabi, it goes to Fernando Alonso with Lewis Hamilton P2 and George Russell P3. Alexander Albon finished 4th, followed by Carlos Sainz, Yuki Tsunoda, Charles Leclerc, Lando Norris P8, Piastri P9, Gasly P10. Alonso had fastest lap and pole position and ended the final race of this season with a Grand Slam. Now guys, let's take a look at the standings for the end of the year. Let me know in the comment section who you guys think won the drivers and constructors. At the end of the season, I'm sure you guys would have guessed it, but Fernando Alonso has won his 3rd World Drivers' Championship in 2024, only 19 years after his first. Who would have thought? He takes 409 points to finish P1, with Lando Norris with 335 points to finish P2, and Lewis Hamilton scores 307 points to finish P3. Charles Leclerc finishes P4, having quite an impressive season there, followed by Albon, really impressive in 5th, Tsunoda, really impressive in 6th, Russell, a little disappointing in 7th, Sainz was 8th, very disappointing, Bottas was 9th, 109 points, still good for him, and Oscar Piastri, he took 2 wins this year, scoring 99 points to finish P10. Pierre Gasly took a win this year. He scored 95 points to finish P11, with Daniel Ricciardo scoring 67 points to finish P12. Sergio Perez with a letdown this season as he scored only 36 points to finish P13, and Esteban Ocon was really bad for Alpine. He only scored 31 points. He finished 14. Kevin Magnussen scores 10 points to finish 15th. Nico Hülkenberg scores 10 points to finish 15th, and Kevin Magnussen scores 3 points to finish 16th. Zhou was 17th, Stroll was 18th, Sargent was 19th, and of course Max Verstappen, who DNF'd every race, finished 20, all with 0 points, but wow, disappointing years from Zhou, Stroll, and Sargent. The constructor standings were quite a fun one and very close as well, with Mercedes coming out on top with 468 points, McLaren were in 2nd with 434, Aston Martin were in 3rd with 409, Ferrari were let down by Carlos Sainz, they finished 4th with 385, AlphaTauri had a good season finishing 5th with 237 points, Williams were 6th with 232, Alpine, I spelled their name wrong, were 7th with 126, Alfa Romeo were 8th with 106, Red Bull were 9th with 36, and Haas were in dead last. You love to see it, with 13. So guys, that is going to wrap it up for today's video. If you guys did enjoy and you want to see more simulation content like this from me, hit that like button, subscribe, share with your friends, join the Discord, links in the description. And with that being said, I'll see you guys next time.